Hey guys, in today's video I have a new subscription service to share with you, and I'm really excited about it because we're gonna be crafting. So if you want to see what kind of craft they have in store for this month, keep on watching. What's up, gorgeous people? It's Amber. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I have something that's a little different from all of the normal subscriptions that you see me do, and this one is called Annie's Creative Craft of the Month Club. So as soon as I saw this one, I believe I saw it on Cratejoy. I'm not really sure, but I'll definitely link it in the description box below in case anyone is interested in trying this one out, which I hope that you do. I really hope that you do. I love when people branch out and start making things. Even the people that tell me that they're not crafty, I believe they are in some way, shape, or form and that they should just give it a try. So this is a great way to do that. This one is $19.99 a month, but I got a discount through one of those websites for my first box. So my first box with shipping ended up being about 12 bucks, I think, or something like that. But normally it's $19.99 plus the shipping, which I think is around $6. So I don't know what that equals because I'm not doing that in my head right now. Nonetheless, that's how much you would pay for your box per month. So at any rate, they give you supplies, all the supplies that you will need for whatever the craft is that they're doing for that month. So obviously you're going to take all the supplies, following their instructions. You're going to make whatever the craft is that they've decided was going to be the craft of the month. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and jump into what I got in my bag, but I also wanted to go over some of the other bags that they have. So I'll probably do that in the next segment. I'll go over the various different bags that they have available, and I'll probably end up trying them all, but this is the one that I wanted to try first, and then I'll go and try some of the other ones if I like this one. We'll see how it goes. So without further ado, let's jump into everything I just said. Okay guys, so when you get on their website, it looks like this, and what you're going to want to do to see all of the clubs available is click Select a Club. Once you click that button, it's going to take you to all the various different ones they have available, like card making, crochet, one for creative girls, quilters fabric, the creative woman, there's crochet Afghan, crochet striped Afghan, farmhouse style, holiday quilters, hook and needle, knit Afghan, simply beads, and one for young woodworkers. Now let's talk a little bit about the one that I chose, which is the Creative Woman Club. Okay, so with this kit, you're going to get to try something new. You're going to open a kit of inspiration every month. So you're going to get to express your creativity, make something beautiful, and never stop learning. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with this already. Another thing that's great about this is it's convenient. An exciting new kit will be delivered directly to your mailbox every 4 weeks. Yay! Another great thing is that there's a variety. So you'll experience crafts like painting, needle crafts, beading, candle and soap making, mixed media crafts, and a whole lot more with each new kit. All of the kits are complete crafting kits. So each kit includes all the materials needed except common household items like scissors and glue. You'll be able to complete each project from start to finish with their easy to follow instructions. Guys, I am really excited about this because I'm always wanting to learn new things and I love crafting. So without further ado, let's jump into making this craft. Okay guys, so here's the bag. Yay! So this says make it, love it, share it. Yes, please do. I hope you guys try this one out because I'm really excited about this one. So let's see what they stuck in here. I have no idea what's going on because I've never got this one before. Okay. So this is just a packing slip and for some reason a return address envelope. Not sure what's going on there. So obviously they're making pumpkins. Look at that. So that's the craft for the month, which is, you know, of course, very suitable for September, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open this up so that we can get an idea of what's in this little booklet here because I've never done this one before. So I don't know what all of this is about. Oh, these pumpkins look so cute though. Oh, okay. So obviously we have the instructions here, which I will share with you guys on how to make the pumpkin. Looks pretty easy. I am an advanced crafter, so this will be easy for me. Maybe not easy for everybody else, but they have their little balls of yarn in here. Not really sure where they're going with the foam. I'm not sure if that was for packing purposes or if you use it for something. If it was for packing purposes, great, because I will use it for something in the future. Okay, so they also have this I don't know, this fuzzy stuff to make your pumpkins. So, pretty simple, pretty easy. Let's go ahead and jump into me making these pumpkins with the instructions they provided. Okay guys, let's start with materials. So in the kit, they provided me with yarn, this merino wool roving. The felty needles were in the kit, but I didn't cover them in the last clip because I missed them. They were super small. And it turns out the foam block is part of the materials that you need. I didn't know that. Clearly not a craft I'm familiar with. And then it just tells me that the materials may vary slightly from those shown in the photos, but I'm also going to need tape, scissors, and a ruler. And that was not provided. So here's a picture. Here's the yarn, there's the roving and the needles, and I don't have the little foam block in this picture because I didn't know it was part of the craft. So we also have the tape, the scissors, and a ruler. This is the kind of ruler I'm going to use. They all work the same, whatever. Okay, so I think we're ready to start. Okay guys, so I'm not going to read these instructions word for word, but we're going to focus on steps 1, 2, and 3, where we're going to take a skein of the yarn and we're going to roll it into a ball that is about 5 inches wide and 5 inches tall so that it looks kind of like a pumpkin. That's the idea here. So let's jump into doing that right now. Okay guys, so I have my skein of yarn here, and all I'm going to do is take that loose end. I'm going to wrap it around my fingers to start to make my yarn ball. I'm sure most of you have made a yarn ball in your day. I've made a ton of them, so I just did what I normally do and I make mine super tight. Well, after I finished literally the entire ball, I read the instructions and it said that you're supposed to be rolling these very loosely. So I was not a very happy camper because I had to undo everything that I had done because I did not read the instructions. So just make sure if you do decide to do this craft that you roll the yarn very loosely. Don't make it super tight as I just did. Okay, so now I'm at the very end here, so I'm just going to roll what's left of it down and just tuck it in so that it doesn't go anywhere. Pretty simple, guys. This isn't hard at all. Now, after I've tucked this in, I'm going to go ahead and measure it and see if it's roughly 5 inches by 5 inches. Now, it doesn't have to be exact, guys. Nothing does in crafting. So I'm taking my little measuring thing here and I'm trying to turn it the way that you guys can see me measure. And as you can see, it's definitely a little off, but I'm still rolling with it. I'm so not unraveling this again. So we're just going to go with it like this and see what happens. Okay, so the next part here, they want me to wind the yarn around my fingers 50 times. And for this one, they want it to be roughly 2 3/4 inches wide. Okay, so this is the oblong pumpkin. So it's going to be a little bit longer than the rest of them. So let's see how this one goes. All right, so here we go. I have my skein of yarn here. I'm spreading out my fingers as far as I possibly can, and I'm just going to start rolling it as loose as I possibly can. And yes, guys, I did count to 50 when I did this because I'm just trying to follow instructions here. But in all honesty, you can just get it roughly right. I mean, it doesn't have to be exact. I'm just saying. All right, so now that I've got my 50 times in place, I just cut it as it said to do, and then I'm just going to finish making my ball of yarn as you traditionally would. So I'm going to roll it the opposite direction and just keep going like this until I feel like I've gotten the desired shape. Now with this second skein though, you have to make 2 pumpkins out of this one skein. The first one, you use the entire skein for just the one big pumpkin, but this second one, we have to make like a medium-sized pumpkin and a small pumpkin out of it. So just keep that in mind, again, if you decide to do this craft. Okay, so I have it all finished here. I'm going to give it a quick measure and see if it's roughly 2 3/4 inches wide. And as you can see, I don't know. I feel like that's close enough. I'm not going to mess with it anymore. So I'm going to go ahead, take what's left of this yarn and tuck it into place. And then for the remaining part, I am going to use that to make the smaller pumpkin. Because remember, they have 3 pumpkins in the picture. So I have 2 so far. I need to go ahead and roll that yarn up to make 1 more. Okay guys, so this is what it looks like so far. I have 3 balls of yarn that look nothing like pumpkins. Let's move on to the next part. All right, so now we take all that fuzzy stuff that they provided and it looks like we make a bed with it, and then we're gonna roll our yarn balls into the fuzzy stuff. Then they want us to take the needles that they provided in the kit to go ahead and kind of push this fuzzy stuff into place. I don't know guys, I've never done this before, so let's just see how this goes. Okay, so I read the instructions, I saw what they wanted me to do, and I'm just going to kind of do what I feel is best. I don't know why I always do this, guys, but when I craft, I kind of sort of follow the instructions, but not really. I don't know, we'll see how this goes. So what I did is took some of that stuff out. I'm measuring it a little bit beyond the ball of yarn here so that I can make a bed for it to roll it into place. So I just kind of spread this stuff out a little bit. I played with this for quite a while actually, and then I made what I thought was a good bed for it, and then I rolled the ball of yarn into this little bed that I made and put everything into place to get ready to start poking it with those needles. I've never done this before, guys. This is just crazy to me how this all works, but it's very cool. All right, so here's the little vial that the needles came in. So what they want us to do is take the needles and tape all 3 of them together. You got 3 needles in the kit. So I take my little Scotch tape here, and I'm just going to tape the needles together as they have shown in the picture. And then I just start poking at the yarn with these needles to put this fuzzy stuff into place. Like, who thinks of this stuff? I mean, I know I'll come up with some crazy ideas, but this is just crazy to me that this actually works. So be careful when you're doing this, guys, because you definitely could poke yourself, and you're going to see later that I do just that. Nonetheless, I just keep poking this thing until I feel like everything's into place. So let's just move into what it looks like when I'm done playing around with it. Okay, so I'm just about done with it here, but as you can see, I have some bald spots. So what I decided to do is take a little bit of the fuzzy stuff and just kind of poke it into place. I found this quite soothing, actually. I kind of really started liking this craft, but nonetheless, that's all I'm doing here is covering up any bald spots that I see. And when I'm done with it, it ends up looking like this. I consider this to be pretty much done because in the next step, we're going to cover it again. So speaking of the next step, what they want us to do is take this fuzzy stuff and make little strips of it as they're showing in step 8 here. We're going to take those little strips and we're going to put them onto the pumpkin so that it has a nice clean finish. Okay, let's see how this goes. Okay, so I have my first strip here, and I'm just trying to lay it on there and make it look as neat as I possibly can, but like I'm not doing a very good job at all at this point. So I'm just trying to straighten it out and kind of comb it out as best as I can to make it look nice. But this is essentially the process, guys. You're just going to add a strip of this down and then poke it into place at the bottom and then again at the top, and you're just going to do strip after strip after strip after strip. I'm not going to bore you showing you all of this, but I do want to point out that you need to be extremely careful with these little needles because they are extremely sharp. So I'm taking the other end here, I'm trying to smooth it out as best as I possibly can, and then I'm going to poke it in at the other end here, and again, ouch, hello, they are sharp. So I poked myself. So I don't have any more footage of the strips at this point, but you guys get the idea. So moving on to the next part, we're going to need to make the little, indentations for the pumpkin. So we need to take our little needles and put those in between the strips that we just did to try to make those little indentations for the pumpkin. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so here it is with all the strips added, and now I have 2 band-aids instead of 1 because I managed to poke myself another time. Awesome. All right, so here's the bottom of the pumpkin, and then here's what the top of the pumpkin looks like so far. Now we need to add the little lines that make it look more like a pumpkin. So I'm taking my little needles here, and it just says to work this fuzzy stuff into the yarn ball as much as you feel you need to get the little marks that make it look like a pumpkin. I really don't know any other way to say that. So I'm just working this needle in and out all the way up to the top of the pumpkin to get the little lines to make it look like it's supposed to. So as I worked up to the top, I wasn't happy with it, so I went back over it again, and I did this several times. So now we're in the next part of it, and look what happens. Yes, guys, I totally broke the needles. Awesome. So I had to order more, so we're gonna have to wait a little bit, and now we're back. I had to buy a new kit on Amazon. Awesome. So now that I have my new awesome kit to finish this, I am using one of the tools that was in the kit to do these little ridges, and it's working so much better because it's just like one big needle, and I found this to be a lot easier to do this with. Hopefully I end up picking up this craft because now I have a full kit so that I can actually do it, which is totally awesome. So you guys get the idea. I'm just going to keep working this needle in and out all over the pumpkin until I get the desired look. Okay, so this is what it's looking like when I'm done with all that. I mean, I'm kind of sort of happy with it. Not really. I don't know. It looks okay, but it's definitely could look better. I do believe I end up playing with it a little bit more after this clip, but you guys get the idea. So now to move on to the next step, what they want us to do is create the stem. In order to do that, you take the brown fuzzy stuff and you're going to work it into that foam block that they provided in the package to form the stem of the pumpkin. Let's see how this part goes. Okay guys, so I have my little foam block here and then I have some of that brown fuzzy stuff and I just kind of roll it into place to kind of get it started, and then I take my new cool tool from my kit here with the millions of needles. I'm being careful guys, I promise. Nonetheless, I'm just kind of poking it into the foam stuff and then moving it around until I get the desired look of what kind of sort of looks like a pumpkin stem. I don't know. So I play with this for a little while, just poking the needles in and out of the foam block until it looks like a stem of a pumpkin. Once I'm done with that part, I put the remaining parts of it on top of the pumpkin here, and then I'm just going to work it into place like I have been with this entire project with the needles, just kind of poking it into place to make it look like a stem on top of the pumpkin. So I just continue to work everything in until I'm happy with the way that it looks. Now, of course, I have to complete this very same process with the other two pumpkins. And once I finish everything with the other two, as you can see, this one's done. This is what they look like. Ta-da! So I have three little kind of sort of looking fall pumpkins. Awesome, right? I don't know. I'm happy with the way that they look. They're definitely not exactly what I expected, but you know what? I'm still happy with them. And let me go ahead and show you some ways that you can display these in your house in case you're wondering, okay, now what? You have these three fuzzy pumpkins. What the heck are you going to do with them? Well, let me show you. Okay, so the first way you can display it is with this charger plate that I got from the Dollar Tree. Just take all of your pumpkins, arrange them however you see fit on the center of the plate, and then I'm adding these leaves also from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just kind of working them in to have a nice fall centerpiece on your table. Now, of course, you could do this with much smaller leaves, but these were the ones that I could find at the time, and I do like the way this looks, but I think I might like it better if I used a smaller leaf or maybe work these leaves a little bit more into the plate. I would probably like it better, but you get the idea. I have another idea for this as well. So what I have here is an embroidery hoop that I just covered with some twine and rope, and then I just added the strands of leaves that you can buy at the craft stores to this embroidery hoop to give this nice awesome fall effect. So you just take your little pumpkins, you work them into the center here, and you have a beautiful little fall centerpiece. This one's my favorite and how I would most likely display it. As a matter of fact, here's a picture on my dining room table. Okay, so that wraps up all the crafting part. Now let's get into my final thoughts. Okay, guys, so that didn't go exactly as planned. I mean, nobody plans on breaking the needles they provide in the kit. Just saying. Nonetheless, I think it turned out okay in the very end, and obviously I look completely different from the way I did at the beginning of this video because after I broke the needles, I had to wait a few days to get that kit in that I ordered from Amazon, and it was only $9.99, so it wasn't breaking the bank. I could have just bought the needles by themselves, but that was like $8, and when I saw the full kit for $9, I thought, okay, I might as well get the whole thing. This may or may not be a craft that I pick up. I did enjoy it. I found it kind of, I don't know, like soothing to sit there and just poke the little stuff into the yarn ball, but I don't know if this will be something that I continue to do, but I have all of the stuff if I want to do that. Just saying. I really wanted this to turn out awesome because I wanted you guys to want to get this kit, but after seeing my train wreck of a DIY, you might not want to, but just keep in mind that when you're looking at instructions for something, if you find a way that you do it better or a little more comfortable for yourself, then just do it that way. You don't have to follow the directions to a T. I am a self-taught crafter, so everything that I do, I kind of look and see how something's made, and then I make it to the best of my ability the way that I feel most comfortable. So I would encourage you guys to do the same things. Just take everything that I did in this video, if you decide to do this craft as a guiding tool, and then do whatever is most comfortable for you and whatever you feel looks best. I mean, my pumpkins turned out okay, but yours might turn out even better. So I hope that you guys found this video helpful, and I hope that you try a kit like this, especially everybody out there that says, I'm not crafty, I can't do this. I think you can be crafty. I think anybody can follow instructions and make something pretty awesome. So I hope that you try a kit like this, or actually venture out and maybe get the stuff to make something like this, or whatever. I just really hope that people get into making stuff, especially when everybody's cooped up in their houses now with not a whole lot to do. Crafting is a great way a great way to pass the time. So I hope you found this video helpful or useful in some way. I don't know. It was a little bit of a train wreck. But honestly, guys, anybody who watches my channel, all of my DIYs are a little bit of a train wreck. They turn out okay in the end, but the whole process to getting there is usually quite the roller coaster ride. So this was no different. And it's kind of funny, at the beginning of the video, I was like, oh, I'm an advanced crafter. This will be super easy for me to do. And you know what? Anytime you're picking up a new craft, it's never super easy. So I really should have never said that. So I wish I could just take it back. But you know, I did say that, and I did expect this to be easy, but it definitely was a little bit of a roller coaster ride because I'm not familiar with this craft. So nonetheless, I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you click the notification bell, because I do have a lot of DIYs coming up. I know I keep telling you guys that, but I do. It just takes a little while for me to film the DIYs, and then I have to voice over all of the instructions on what I'm doing in each scene and all that kind of stuff. So it just takes me a little bit more time to get those videos up, but they are coming, I promise. So make sure you've hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any of the super fun DIYs I have coming up here. I'm so glad that you guys stopped by to check this out, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye! Annie's Creative Woman of the Month Club. Okay. So normally I'm doing like a beauty subscription box or whatever, but lately I've branched out and I'm doing various different ones because I want to try different things and be able to share, what do you want to share? Try it again. So in today's video, I have a very different kind of subscription. Try it again. And this is very, I mean, very near and dear to my heart when it comes to handcrafting things. So this subscription box I don't know what it's called. Annie's Creative Woman Kit of the Month Club. Well, let's try this again. And this is one, as soon as I saw it, was so near and dear to my heart. It's called Annie's Creative Craft of the Month Club, I believe. Nope. Creative Woman. Try it again. Annie's and then they provide the instructions, and I think there might be videos and things that you can reference online on how to make the items in the bag. What? How to make items something, huh? Try it again. For whatever the craft of the month is, and then you have instructions on how you make whatever the craft is that they've supplied the stuff for. Try it again.